we're going to do souffles. And as everyone knows, the heart of the good souffle is...
Egg white, beaten egg white. And I'm going to do mine in copper. I beat it faster than the machine.
Well, we're going to see if you're faster than the machine.
All right.
Joe, okay.
Wow.
Counted. 1, 2, 3, go!
Happy cooking.
Bon appetit. Now, who won that contest between the man and the machine? We both did, except I thought mine were better.
Yeah, mine was faster and actually better.
Well, anyway, now what we're going to do, we're going to start with cheese souffle. And the souffle is just a thick sauce into which egg whites are folded, and it's the egg whites that expand as they're heated, and that makes the souffle rise. You're going to start with the bechamel.
With the bechamel. And I have 3 tablespoons of butter here, and I put 4 tablespoons of flour. So at the base, which we call a roux blanc. Okay. And the roux, of course, on top of the roux that you cook a few seconds, I have a cup and a half of milk, which I'm going to add directly.
How long do you think that the roux has to cook?
Well, I don't cook the roux more than like 10-15 seconds.
Some people say that then the flour is still raw.
No, I don't believe that.
You don't believe that?
No, I don't believe that.
I do.
You do.
Yes.
But you know, think of a crème pâtissière. Crème pâtissière, you beat egg yolk, sugar, you put flour in it, you put your boiling milk, put it back, bring it to a boil and take it out.
And it always tastes floury.
It never tastes flour, it's a crème pâtissière. All right,
Okay.
so this has to come to a boil. What I like to put in mine, I put a little bit of nutmeg.
That's sort of a pinch, isn't
Yes, and a dash of salt. And the base here, as you can see on the outside here, is starting getting thick. As soon as it comes to a boil, it's about ready. And the bechamel is the proportion here of almost 3 tablespoons of flour per cup of liquid, so it's pretty thick.
A thick white sauce,
Yes,
beautifully made.
and we're going to do cheese in it. Cheddar cheese.
Good.
See how it gets thick now?
It has to be thick so it'll...
Yes, to hold the thing
Hold
together.
everything.
Actually, we're going to put the egg yolk. It's going to thicken it even further.
Now we're going to
Okay.
do the egg whites separately.
Yes. So you break your egg like this, and you separate the white from the yolk, right?
Yeah. And with impeccably clean fingers.
That reminds me when I was an apprentice too. We had to clean up the
And then we're
inside of
going to
the
do,
shell.
as you usually do, oh, you can break a few of these eggs too, Jack.
That's right. So here is what I do. I put them directly in there, and then I remove the yolk. I need that
All the
white.
yolks together.
Here. No, I need the yolk in there. So, okay, we have 3, of course.
Now,
we have-
supposing you have broken the yolk, and there's some of the yolk in there, that's why I was doing them separately.
Well, I am
Because you never break them.
All right.
Confident. Okay.
You do have to remove all of the white, you know, and there is a
Yeah.
little white thing on each side which is called the chalaza of the eggs, which actually the sinew,
Oh.
which hold the yolk in suspension here in the center of the shell.
Yes, you can see that very
Yeah.
easily.
So that should be removed too.
But now, supposing there's a speck of which you're so good at you never
There
break
isn't
them.
any, yeah.
Well,
You know what happened? When people
Okay.
separate the eggs with the shell, I bet you they lose almost each time about a third of the egg white. So I'm doing about 5 egg white here. What I want to do is to start it very fast first. And I do that to break the egg white so that it's liquid.
I think that's a very good idea.
Yeah, because if you go slowly, it's like a wet mop which goes around and it does. So now I start slowly. and you can hear the egg white falling on itself. And the reason is that I try not to touch the bowl. There's no way you could go as fast as a machine. Okay, so it's halfway done.
Yes, it is. It's going very quickly.
Yeah, and then you can change hand if you get tired. Well, I think we can put the egg yolk in your bechamel if you want. You have 4 egg yolk there. Basically, I want that type of texture, you know. And now, you see, while Julia is finishing her stuff, I stir gently in my egg, because if I don't do anything, they start breaking down very fast. So you want a little bit of the white? I'll give you a little bit of this first, if you mix it with your whisk.
Okay.
Okay. That's good. Mixing it with the whisk, that lightens the whole mixture. And now you put it back in there.
All right.
That's it. And then you're going to add some cheese,
I don't
right?
like it all at once, actually, but then
You-
I like to put
a little bit
some
at a
of the
time.
cheese.
Okay, so I start folding and you can add cheese. That's right.
Yes, it's much better doing it with 2 people, isn't it?
Beautiful mixture.
That looks
See,
lovely.
the eggs are not grainy here, and that's the proper texture.
Now, if you find, say, in a machine, if you've beaten them too much and they've gone grainy, that I found if you put another raw egg
It helps.
yolk
That's
in,
true. That's true.
you don't have to throw them all out.
Now what happens, you can put that in your mold ready to go into the oven and you can keep it for 45 minutes. But you cannot beat your egg white, leave them by themselves without anything, unless you put sugar in it to stabilize them to do a meringue. So here, you're putting a color on yours.
What I'm gonna put?
You're putting a color on yours? I never
Yes.
put color on my souffle, but...
Well, then yours don't rise high enough.
Oh, that's true. You want me to butter that for you?
It's buttered now. We need a little.
No, this
We're
is
going
not
to put a little
butter.
cheese in it,
All right.
and we need to butter that too.
Okay. The cheese is right there. You want
Yeah.
Parmesan cheese, right?
I don't care either one.
Okay, this is butter too.
This is the reason for putting cheese or breadcrumb around the sides, is so that it won't stick to the sides. It'll
And you
rise
give a
up.
nice crusty,
Yeah.
give a nice crusty side to it.
Okay.
See,
now
that's very nice. No, okay. So we put this first or the color first?
put
This
that first.
Yeah. All right. And how do you attach this? Ah.
And
a
have
little
the
bit
head of
sewing.
the pin down for easy removal. Well, that's going to go out.
Good. Shall I put a bit more on top now?
I would think so. We want it to rise over the...
Wow, this is a big souffle. Okay, I have all of it in there. Beautiful.
No, it immediately goes into the oven.
This is going to take like 45 minutes. 350 degree I put, right? Okay, I'm finishing my bechamel I did before. Now I put my egg yolk in it. Beautiful color. Okay, so I put my yolk in it. It thickened a little bit.
Yep.
Now I'm going to do the base of the souffle with scallop, you know. We're going to do a scallop base here. And those scallop, I have a pound of scallop almost here, like 3/4 of a pound. I just have a little bit of butter and oil, some shallot.
And they cook
Some
very
shine.
quickly.
So, I have beaten my egg in the same way, but we did it in the machine this time. And I put a little bit of there.
It's
Here.
always very important of lightening it up.
Julie, I think that I may put that back into the big bowl there.
Okay. Yes, that would be easier.
Okay. Do you want to put the cheese for me,
Okay.
just like you did on the other?
All right. This is weirdy cheese. What kind is it?
This is an English cheddar.
They always do things in strange ways, don't they?
You think so? A little more. You like it?
No,
You don't like it?
I like ours better. No.
So you think we should...
I think it'll be all right in the souffle.
Okay. So the mixture here.
Looks nice. The color is very pretty, I think.
You're going to put that right on top.
Then does it get anything on top of it?
On top of it, I think that I'm going to put some breadcrumb. I like to put some breadcrumb on top of it.
There you are.
Maybe I can even mark this.
Oh, yes, that'll be nice.
And mark it a certain way, just the side. Just like this.
Oh, that's very chic.
Oh. Okay, a little bit of breadcrumb on top. And I'll put a little piece of the cheese on top, yes. I know you love it.
Well, it's pretty.
And then you can, of course, you can do that with any type of cheese. Shall we put that in the oven and see how the other one is doing?
Look at our other one. Look at that too, and that's coming up nicely.
Wow, look at that one. So I'll put this one next to it. It's
Yes.
going to cook a bit faster because it's flatter.
I wonder how nearly done is that, do we think?
I think it takes another 10-15 minutes, in my opinion. The souffle is in the oven now, and remember, you wait for the souffle. The souffle doesn't wait for you, so when it's ready, you gotta sit down and
Eat it. I think we're on. Let's open it up.
Okay.
The big one we should check right away.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay.
Wait,
We'll put
bring
it
to
right
you.
there.
Right here.
Then one way to check is to stick a big skewer in,
This one has to cook another 10
and then it
minutes.
should
at
come
least.
out fairly clean as it has, you see. Okay, now the pin's out. There we are, Jacques.
Beautiful. Look
Beautiful.
at this. Look at that souffle. Let's admire it for a while.
Done.
You know,
it'll stay up a little
yours
bit.
go higher than mine.
Well, that's because we filled it very full and put a collar on. I always start like that and
In the
pull it
center,
apart.
right. All right.
Oh, that looks lovely.
Can't wait to taste it. See, this is perfect. The cooking here, just slightly moist in the center. Wow. And look at the center of that souffle there. And the crust, is coming from the side, which is what's good. Well, it's...
I think we should see if it's any good.
I love, my favorite souffle is actually cheese souffle. I love cheese. And especially
It's so
here.
nice for lunch with a good salad. That's delicious. I think the scallops must be ready now. Let's take it out of the oven.
Yes, look
Wow.
at that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Let's get it this way.
I'll get this out of your way.
This is an easy souffle to serve, when it's in a gratin dish like this. It's easy to serve because you can actually, cut your portion there.
And that funny
look at
cheese looks very nice. It looks like orange leaves, doesn't it?
Yes. And then, of course, a beautiful scallop and some juice in the bottom. The scallop are there and give
Oh, I
me
think
some
that's
juice.
lovely.
Madame,
Monsieur?
shall we taste it? You want to taste those... you want to see the scallop the way they are cooked?
That's right.
You're right, the scallop are not overcooked at all.
No, they're fine.
Beautiful.
Now we're going to have your famous and delicious chocolate. I think, remember in the old days, there was the only Lucas, a famous English woman who was a great French cook. And I think her signature dish was the chocolate, what you call it, roulade or
Yes,
roll?
roulade au chocolat.
Yes, it was lovely, but Jack's is even better, I think.
Well,
It's moister and lighter and better.
good. Now,
Not that she wasn't a wonderful cook,
yeah.
too.
I want to show you now how to line up the jelly roll pan. So you fold that in 4 and you cut the corner here. The open corner there. Now
Why
what
do we do
do
that?
Well, we take a bit of butter and we butter half of it. About half of it this
Yeah.
way. Then we fold the one which is not buttered on top, so that it's buttered on each side. Then we open
Well,
it.
that saves you from buttering it each side.
Right.
I see.
Now we open it. We put it buttered side down
And this is parchment paper.
for a
yeah.
second, parchment, and then you lift it up. Now it's buttered on the other side. And we
That's
put it
really
here.
labor-saving.
Yes, and what happens is, you see the corner, the way those things
Yeah,
fold
that really
in the
folds
corner there, because you cut the
Yeah.
paper this way. So
That's very clever.
it makes a nice little casing, you know. And it's important to unmold it later on. You can see that
Yes, you
corner.
better be able to unmold it.
Yes. So we are ready now. So I am going to do the ganache.
Okay.
And ganache is really chocolate and cream, and in equal proportion. I have a cup of cream here, and with that cup of cream we have 8 ounces of chocolate. This is a bittersweet chocolate. There is sugar in it, but it's very, very good quality. And I have 6 egg white that I'm going to start here, and I put a tablespoon and a half of sugar directly at the beginning.
At the beginning, now that's unusual.
Yeah, that will stabilize the egg white,
Oh.
and they hold better. So this is going to get very smooth. It does beautiful chocolate truffle with this. See, that's it. It's basically already.
About done.
And it's,
You don't want to let it boil.
no, you don't want to let it boil. The cream was hot. When the cream is hot, it makes very fast.
But you have to be very careful because you're a pro and you know how to do it. But us home people,
We stop it.
we
No, but
don't
you-
know all the difficulties. If
Of course, you
really,
know sometimes more than I do.
But if you let it boil, it can all thicken up. So if you want to be absolutely safe, you can put it over water, then you'll be
Right.
absolutely safe. So that's beautiful. That's just as smooth
it,
as anyone could want.
Okay, my egg white looks beautiful.
And you do use the machine now and then.
Oh, yes, I do, of course. I will put this directly in there.
And the egg whites, it doesn't hurt them at all to have hot chocolate go in.
Well, I mix them a little bit with the whisk and finish it with the rubber spatula.
I must say, it smells.
And that smells good.
Now, if this were cream, that would deflate the cream.
Oh,
It doesn't
yes.
hurt the
Anything
chocolate at
hot,
all. So that's a ganache with egg white, so that is really a souffle, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could put that in the oven and do a beautiful chocolate souffle. You know, I like the chocolate souffle, individual souffle, so that would be good. You could probably do about 10 individual souffle with that, you know?
Now, what an easy way to make a souffle.
Yes, it is.
And wait till you taste it. It has a moistness to it, which is just lovely.
I think you like that recipe, Julia.
I do.
We flatten it out a little bit here. And you know, this at 350 degrees will cook about 12 minutes, you know, in those area. It cooks pretty fast. You could do a souffle, or you could do a cake, like a souffle, and let it cool off, and then mold it like a flourless chocolate cake, or then you can do your roulade.
There's nothing worse than as a title than a flourless chocolate cookie. Who cares whether it has flour in it or not?
But it's important, it's good.
So that's what that's
Okay,
for.
12 minutes, 350 degrees.
Fine. Now what?
Now you're gonna beat the cream for
Oh,
me,
I'm going
right?
to beat the cream.
Okay.
Good. I always beat the cream over ice. I've got ice in here. Because it's got to be cold.
We need 1 cup of cream.
Then I don't ever use the machine for cream. Because I don't, so you want to beat as much air in as possible.
I
It
put
really takes about, it takes a good 5 minutes.
the sugar now.
Okay.
Tablespoon and a half of sugar. And a little bit of cognac.
I always like a tiny bit of vanilla in too. Is that
Okay, a
okay?
tablespoon of cognac, and then maybe
About a teaspoon of vanilla?
teaspoon of...
Half a teaspoon.
Looks good already.
I'll let you beat a little bit too. It's good for the arm,
It is true. And I take it out.
as long as it's really chill.
Yeah. I think the beauty of it, the important part is that the cream is beaten with a back and forth motion much more than getting into it like the egg white.
But you want to get as much air in as possible, don't you?
And usually it may break down and turn into butter, you know, if you beat in it too much. But just the emulsion back and forth, you can see it being taken now.
And this is going to be beaten into chantilly.
Yeah, that's it.
In other words, it isn't stiffly beaten white cream, it's softly beaten white
Like
cream.
this?
You think that's just about enough?
Yeah.
But I think having it cold is very
It
important.
helps a lot, yes.
And that you can beat ahead of time. You can just keep it in a bowl of ice. And I think
Yes.
you have a ready
Yes.
one. So we won't have to
Got
wait.
one.
He has a ready one.
Which is ready there. Take it out there.
And this has to be cool.
What I like to do is to put a little bit of cocoa powder here, unsweetened cocoa powder.
Now, if you did this ahead, could you do it overnight?
If I do it overnight, or if it's summer, if it's very humid too, I may want to put a little bit of gelatin in the cream. You know?
I mean, melt it in.
Yes, to hold it. Let's see here. Just a little layer of this. Cream. Okay. So let's see
This
now.
is typical of chefs. They never clean up.
No,
the
I
bowl.
always clean. I'm going to serve that next to the.
Oh, you
next
are?
to the. No, I always clean everything. I'm a real.
'Cause I always feel that they have a lot of
All
minions
right, I'll put a little
outside.
more on top of it. In addition, I haven't been in the kitchen, in the professional kitchen, a long time. You know, I work at home, and if I don't clean anything, my wife yelled at me. So I'm very careful. Okay, so we use the paper, you know, to roll it basically this way. And you know, at that point, I could put that other piece of paper underneath and keep it like that in my refrigerator ready. So here we have to transfer this to that.
And it doesn't make any difference if it cracks. It's going to cover it with
We're going to put a
powdered
little
sugar or
bit
something
of,
anyway.
of cocoa powder on top here.
You know.
So now, really what we put on top of it here is again a little bit of unsweetened cocoa powder. I can leave some of that on my tray, you know, makes a bit of a decoration. This is very easy to cut.
You don't put powdered
Usually-
sugar on that. On the
Or
top.
we could if you want.
Or you could frost it if you wanted to.
This is for the chef, you know, in the
Yeah.
kitchen, you cut the end of it. Especially if you do your bûche de Noël, so it has a
Yeah.
nice shape. Okay, I'm going to give you a nice slice out of it.
Well, I'm ready.
You know, it's still a little warm from the oven. And we could put, oh, maybe a little decoration, a little bit of flowers,
Yes. That's...
maybe a little sprig of mint.
Well, now I'll see if it's any good.
Me too. You need a nice sweet wine with that. It's quite light, huh?
It's lovely. So I've had a lot of them that are kind of dry, and this has a lovely moist quality to it.
I did it with your help. You whipped the cream.
This is really just so good I can't stop eating it. I'll just say bon appetit.
And happy cooking.